So the Dodgers play the Tampa Bay Rays for the first time since 2020, when they,
Call strike three! The Dodgers win! Finally!
I want to take this opportunity to look back to October 27th, 2020, Game 6 of the World Series, which I believe is Dave Roberts at his apex, managing the Dodgers to a championship with a nice combination of his gut and mind. Now you may cringe at hearing this, but all I really ask of you is to try to have an open mind. Now before we begin, I'm of the opinion that the majority of a manager's in-game managing revolves around the bullpen, so I'll only focus on that in this video. With that important caveat, let's get to it. So here are the starting lineups for Game 6. We start off with Tony Gonsolin. Hasn't had a good postseason up to this point, and he's not expected to go long. This is a bullpen game from the beginning, with the comfort being that if the Dodgers don't win tonight, they'd have Walker Buehler going in Game 7. The thought process here with Gonsolin is to try to get him to survive maybe at most one time through the order, and then maybe bring in a left-hander to force Cash's hand with Ji-Man Choi. Gonsolin starts the night by striking out Choi on nasty back-to-back splitters, so up comes Mexican legend Randy Arozarena, having the best postseason of all time. Gonsolin throws this little slider cutter a little outside, but he gets the call. So they decide why not go back out there? Well, because Arozarena is looking out there, and that's the part of the zone where he's doing his most damage this postseason. Gonsolin comes back with the same slider on the outer part of the plate, a little higher, and Randy simply puts the bat head out and drives it 378 feet the other way for a home run. That's not entirely on Tony. It's a credit to Randy for not pulling that pitch, and like John Smoltz says,
to go the other way speaks to how quick his hands are.
Austin Meadows singles. Gonsolin walks Brandon Lau on a ball in the dirt, not even close. It gets past Barnes, and Gonsolin and the Dodgers are in trouble quick. You see here, Alex Wood is already warming up. Remember, after Margot, it's lefty, righty, lefty. Wood looks just about ready right when Gonsolin gets Margot to pop up, but this is a pure gut call here by Dave Roberts. He likes how Gonsolin battled Margot and gives him a leash to face at least Joey Wendell. I think if Wendell gets on, that's it for Gonsolin, and you take your chances with Wood against Adames. But to Gonsolin's credit, he strikes out Wendell on the 25th pitch of the inning, and earns himself at least one more batter, Adames the righty, to lead off the second. Adames chases a couple of pitches out of the zone to help out Gonsolin, and Tony freezes him with a splitter over the heart of the plate. 2-1 pitch to Kiermaier is ripped over the head of Betts for a 1-out double, and you can tell by where Barnes sets up. Gonsolin's command is just all over the place. You can see this again when Barnes sets up outside on Zunino and a fastball leaks out over the plate. And tell you what, that sounded like a home run, but fortunately for the Dodgers, it's just foul. 2-1 pitch to Zunino. Barnes wants it low. Gonsolin leaves it over the middle of the plate, but Zunino swings and misses through it. Gonsolin is getting the strikes he wants, but they aren't pretty strikes. That's the difference between control and command. And right now, Gonsolin is lacking command, and that's a recipe for an early shower. To his credit, this is a really good splitter to strike out Zunino. Now, the analytics move here would be to go to Wood to face Choi and see if Cash burns a good bat early on. But I don't even believe Wood is warming up at this point. I know Dylan Flores starts to warm up after this 1-1 pitch to Choi because Joe Buck says so.
Dylan Flores starts to get loose for the Dodgers in their pen.
And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense to sit Wood down. Because remember, Alex Wood is normally a starter. Here he kind of is a long man out of the pen. So maybe Roberts only warmed up Wood in the first inning in case things really got out of hand. But it seems that he was never really serious about bringing Wood in early. Choi walks on a pitch way inside and Roberts immediately jumps up. That's it for Gonsolin. He does get 5 important outs. There are 22 more outs to go. Dylan Floro comes in to face Randy Arozarena, and I remember watching this live and thinking how I really liked this matchup. Remember how I said Randy's been destroying pitches on the outer part of the zone? Well, he's hit .458 with 8 home runs this postseason on pitches middle away, which he's seen about a third of the time. However, on pitches inside, which he's seen only 13% of the time, he's hit 125 with a 62.5% strikeout rate. And Floto is a pitcher that likes to get that sinker low and in to produce soft contact. And sure enough, Floto starts Randy off with an inside strike on an 87-mile-per-hour changeup. Another changeup pinpoint on the dot, lower inside corner, and you can tell Randy does not look comfortable here. It could also have something to do with the arm angle, how the ball comes out of Floto's hand. If that's true, then that's a brilliant move by Roberts and his staff to find that matchup in their game planning. Smoltz says that Arozarena has struggled with changeups and cutters off right-handed pitching. The cutter data is inconclusive, but against righty changeups, Randy's hitting 125 with a 62.5% strikeout rate. Advantage, Floto. This 0-2 changeup is perfect, just below the zone. Randy can't time it. You can tell even though he's seen the same exact pitch 2 times in a row, he swings like he'd never seen it before. And huge credit to Floto for having perfect command coming out of the bullpen in a high leverage situation. 2 men on base, World Series game, the hottest hitter on planet Earth up at the plate. You just cannot ask for more out of someone who's not one of your top relievers. I'll go as far as to say that this move by Dave Roberts saved the game, maybe even the season for the Dodgers, because you just don't know what any other pitch mix, any other arm slot will do against a hitter as locked in as Randy Arozarena. So now it's Alex Wood to pitch the third, and Dave Roberts, even though he's already on his 3rd pitcher in as many innings, must be grinning like a kid at Christmas knowing his script is working, mostly according to plan. You got the tough lefty Wood facing 2 lefties in a row in Meadows and Lau, and then the lower half of the lineup. The thought process here is to get through 2-ish innings and take Alex Wood out once Cash likely pinch hits Ji-Man Choi for a right-handed hitter. Wood puts away Austin Meadows on 4 pitches that make him look absolutely overmatched. Fox shows a good angle here of Wood's funky mechanics. You can see how that really makes it tough on left-handed hitters. He retires Lau on this little weak nubber, and that's Alex Wood at his best. Weak ground balls. Combine that with some of the slower runners coming up for Tampa Bay, and that's a recipe for success. At least it is for the Dodgers. Margot puts a good swing on his changeup out over the plate, but Cody Bellinger runs it down. And that's the first 1-3 inning for Dodger pitching. Easy, stress-free. It couldn't have gone better if you're Dave Roberts. The left-handed Joey Wendell leads off the 4th and lines out weakly to Justin Turner in the shift. Wood puts Adames away on 4 pitches, and I mentioned how tough that angle from Wood is on left-handers, but it's not particularly easy for right-handers, as you can see here. There's nothing that Adames can do with this elevated fastball, it just doesn't drop as much as he thinks it will. Wood blows his fastball up and away right past Kiermaier. Amazing. Easy. Wood lets out a little roar. He's given the Dodgers 2 incredibly valuable innings on just 20 pitches. There are now 15 outs remaining. Will Alex Wood get another one of those outs? No, it'll be Pedro Baez. Remember him? This is World Series champion and pace of play rebel Pedro Baez on to face 9-1-2 Zunino Choi and the monster that looms Randy Arozarena. Remember what we said about Randy against right-handed changeups? Well, Baez is known for his mid-90s fastball, but he's also got a pretty damn good changeup. He uses his changeup to dispose of Mike Zunino. That brings Tampa Bay legend Ji-Man Choi up to the plate, and on the first pitch, 96-mile-per-hour fastball up and in, he pops out weakly to Justin Turner, and up comes Randy Arozarena. You can see Barnes set up inside, just like he did with Dylan Floto, and it's pretty clear how the Dodgers want to attack Arozarena here. Baez misses his spot with a changeup low and away, but it works out. Strike 1. Barnes wants to go up and in, and Baez sails it up and away for ball 1. Barnes sets up low and in, and Baez actually hits his spot here. It maybe fades in a little too much, but that's just a good take from a hitter as aggressive as Arozarena is. Tip your cap. Barnes wants to go right back in there, but Baez actually leaves his changeup up. But Randy is uncomfortable here. He thinks it's going to hit him, and it costs him a strike. And by the way, really good frame job here by Austin Barnes. 2-2 pitch, you see Barnes set up low and in, and Baez leaves a fat changeup out over the plate. Fortunately for the Dodgers and Baez, Randy pulls it on the ground instead of driving it in the air the other way. It is a base hit, but the way Randy's going, that's gotta feel like a huge victory for Roberts and his staff. And of course, as we've just seen in the Randy at bat, Baez isn't commanding his pitches as well as he'd like. And with the lefty metals coming up, Roberts wastes no time. This is a pure analytics move as old as time. Bring in the left-handed pitcher mid-inning to face the left-handed hitter. Rookie Victor Gonzalez, the Mexican southpaw discovered in the same scouting trip as Julio Urias, takes over. And the domino effect of this move is that Victor, being left-handed, has a better vantage point to keep the speedy Arozarena close. Roberts is counting on Cash to take Meadows out of the game, but Cash doesn't take the bait just yet. Instead, first pitch from Gonzalez, Meadows smashes it to the right side, but right to the perfectly shifted Taylor. And as I rewatch this in 2023, I'm laughing because I'm used to that ball being a base hit nowadays. Instead, this 100-mile-per-hour shot off the bat of Meadows turns into out number 3 and out number 15 of the ball game. There are now 12 outs to go. With Lau, Margot, Wendell up, lefty, lefty, Victor Gonzalez returns to the mound for the 6th inning. You see Brusdar Graterol getting loose, but Dave Roberts won't need him just yet. This is Victor's inning. Gonzalez strikes out the side with his filthy sinker-slider combo. Victor's fired up. 9 outs to go. This Dodger bullpen has gotten through 6 innings, allowing just 1 run against a really good Tampa Bay offense. And can we just take a second to appreciate Austin Barnes right here? Dave Roberts and the Dodgers don't win this game without Barnes' tremendous game calling. Austin Barnes is widely regarded as one of the best defensive catchers in baseball, and it's not because of his arm. Clearly, it's because he does the things that don't show up in the box score, and he does them really well. Pitchers love throwing to him, and well, they really love throwing to him here in Game 6. And an added bonus, he hits lefties better than righties, and Blake Snell is a lefty. And here in the bottom half of the 6th, Austin Barnes starts a rally with a base hit off of Snell. Great move by Roberts to put Barnes in the starting lineup. Of course, we've reached the point where Cash infamously overreacts and immediately takes out Blake Snell. He becomes the anti-Roberts in this game, and well, it works out for the Dodgers, as they do just about everything right in this inning, and the Rays don't. 9 defensive outs separate the Dodgers from World Series glory. The bazooka Brusdar Graterol takes over with 7, 8, and 9 coming up. Righty, lefty, righty. And Graterol is amped. A little too amped, actually. His first 2 pitches to Adames aren't even close, but he gets Adames to ground out on the sinker inside. And that's what Brusdar does. Weak contact. Kiermaier lines out on the first pitch. The Rays are super aggressive here in the 7th, and who can blame them? The ball is entirely in Dave Roberts' court, and the Rays have all the pressure in the world. First pitch to Zunino almost hits him. Meanwhile, Julio Urias, the savior, begins to warm up. Back-to-back nasty triple-digit sinkers, and there's nothing Zunino, big swing and miss guy, can do with them. 1-2 pitch, Graterol gets cute and tries to throw this cutter away, but he leaves it out over the middle of the plate, and Zunino is on with his first hit of the World Series. So Graterol is all over the place, and that's going to be it for him. With the lefty slugger Ji-Man Choi coming up, this is the move that Dave Roberts wants. Bring in the lefty, get Choi out of there, because there's no one on that Tampa Bay bench that can beat him with the long ball like Ji-Man Choi can. Maybe Hunter Renfroe, but Renfroe can't play first base, and Cash isn't going to want to waste 2 players here. So Dave Roberts, playing 3-dimensional chess while Kevin Cash plays tic-tac-toe, makes the move for Julio Urias, and I want to take this moment to appreciate Joe Buck's perfect pronunciation.
Urias coming in. Choi, the scheduled hitter in the 7th.
Yandy Diaz pinch hits for Choi. Really good hitter, but he hasn't learned to lift the ball like he has here in 2023, where he's played like an MVP candidate. On a 1-2 pitch, Urias dots his 95-mile-per-hour fastball on the outer part of the plate, off the plate, and Diaz, who has one of the best eyes in all baseball, knows it. But Urias gets the strike 3 call, and that's the effect that Austin Barnes has behind the plate. 6 defensive outs remain. You can see Dave Roberts deliberating with his staff, the gears turning in his brain. Should I take him out? No, who are you, Kevin Cash? Now you can hear the hot mics pick up Dave Roberts saying,
Eddie, come here. So back to the dugout. You're going to hit.
Of course, he's talking to Edwin Rios, the young left-handed power bat for the Dodgers. This all happens with Will Smith at second base, 2 outs, and Jock Peterson pinch hitting for the number 8 hitter AJ Pollock. And this is a very nice insight that we don't often see. The thought process here is that Dave Roberts knows how important an insurance run is, especially with Randy Arozarena due to bat the next inning. So he wants Cash to pitch to Jock Peterson, Doc's best option against the right-handed upper 90s fastball of Pete Fairbanks. Roberts needs Cash to pitch to Peterson, and he wants to make Cash's decision-making process a little more difficult by sending Rios up there as kind of a decoy, and adding another variable for Cash to consider instead of just Austin Barnes. So Cash sees this and decides to pitch to Peterson. First 2 pitches miss out of the zone, and Cash decides he doesn't want to deal with Jock behind in the count, and Austin Barnes steps up. The Eddie episode is a clear bait, and Cash in the end doesn't bite. Now let's be real, Roberts isn't going to substitute his starting catcher in the most important game of the year and waste a DH spot by moving Will Smith around and open the door for unnecessary injury and mess with his pitching staff's mojo. But I like this little moment because it highlights the behind the scenes of being a big league manager, in that it is a lot more than just take pitcher out, keep pitcher in. Randy Arozarena leads off the 8th against Julio Urias. The Dodgers get better defensively as Roberts brings in Kike to play second base and moves Taylor to left field in place of Peterson. On a 1-0 pitch, Urias goes inside on his future Mexican teammate Arozarena, but too far inside and he falls behind 2-0. He gets away with his changeup down the middle, but on his next changeup further outside, Randy does what he's done all postseason long and drives it the other way. And Belly gets a great jump to take away extra bases from Arozarena. It may not be a flashy diving catch or leaping catch to rob a home run, but you don't know how difficult and how valuable this play is. Hunter Renfroe pinch hits for the lefty Meadows and grounds out weakly to Edwin Rios. Brandon Lau strikes out to end the 8th. Now I know Julio Urias has become somewhat of a cult hero in LA for this performance, but I think what goes unnoticed is that he's doing it on just 2 days rest after throwing 80 pitches in Game 4. And even more impressive is that he's doing it against a Tampa Bay team that is really good at making adjustments when they see a pitcher multiple times in a series, and Urias is just carving through them. Roberts gets his insurance run on this Betts home run, and it's 3-1 as we go to the top of the 9th.
Dave Roberts, he has shown a masterful touch, especially in games 5 and 6, with using those guys out of the pen.
3 defensive outs left, and I don't think this inning needs much explanation.
Dodger fans to their feet. Urias, calm, cool, and collected. Dave Roberts. Strike 3. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Dave Roberts pulling the strings and making right call after right call out of the bullpen.
Man, I still get chills to this day watching Clayton Kershaw smile on that Texas field. There it is, folks, the apex of Dave Roberts' managing career. A masterclass from Dave Roberts in blending analytics with gut to reach the tippity top of baseball's Mount Everest. After Gonsolin came out, the Dodgers used 6 relievers to cover 22 outs and only allowed 2 measly base runners. Roberts literally bullpenned his way to the Dodgers' first championship since 1988. Look, Dave Roberts gets a lot of flack. Some deserved, some not, and some totally misdirected. But that comes with the territory when you're the leader of one of the most iconic franchises in all of sports. He's not perfect, he's far from it actually, and like everyone he's made mistakes, some more high profile than others, 2019. But you look at the aggregate, the Dodgers lead all of baseball in ERA and bullpen ERA since Dave Roberts took over in 2016, while having just 10 complete games in that span, tied for 11th fewest in all of baseball. And most of these complete games came from Clayton Kershaw early in Dave Roberts' tenure. This means that of the 1,033 games the Dodgers have played in between 2016 and 2022, for 1,023 of them, Dave Roberts has had to do some actual work and manage the bullpen. And I think his record speaks for himself. And even in the postseason, Dave Roberts has a winning record, with 45 wins to just 36 losses, a winning percentage that's behind only Alex Cora, Dusty Baker, AJ Hinch, and Brian Snitker since 2016. But the only one close to the 81 postseason games that Roberts has managed is Dusty Baker with 52 games. That's amazing. Now, of course, baseball doesn't work that way. Roberts may have a winning record in the postseason, but the nature of such a small sample size is that the sequencing can get out of whack. And unfortunately for Roberts, he does have only one ring in a 60-game season to show for it. Regardless, I am of the opinion that being a big league manager today is 90% about the intangibles that you don't see on your TV screen, and only about 10% actual in-game managing. And you can't deny the winning culture implemented under Dave Roberts, from managing different personalities to game prep to even something as small as what we saw with Edwin Rios. After all, the players love suiting up for Roberts, and in a long 162-game season over the course of 6 grueling months, plus playoffs, that's gotta mean something. I think it speaks a lot about Dave Roberts as a leader, as a father figure, as the public face for the media, and as the glue who holds the Dodgers together. And as we just saw, for the most part, Roberts is actually a pretty competent bullpen manager, and at times is even capable of borderline genius tactics. And if the Dodgers are finally gonna get over the hump in a full season for the first time since 1988, they're gonna need Apex Roberts at the helm. Or we can just blame Dave Roberts when the bats go cold in October once again.